What's up guys, welcome to another Vlogmas episode. I told you earlier this Vlogmas that I wanted to do a makeup tutorial, so that's what I'm doing today. So if makeup tutorials is not your thing, then just skip this one and watch the next episode. Let's just jump into it. I wanted to use one of the Jaclyn Hill palettes, and I've used the volume 1 2 times now, I think. So I thought maybe I should use the volume 2 palette. I think I'm going to stick to a somewhat neutral look. Did I say that this was a New Year's Eve makeup tutorial? I don't know if it's a New Year's Eve or if it's a Christmas. I think I'm gonna call it a New Year's Eve makeup tutorial. Okay, let's get started. So I'm just starting. I have this Tarte Clean Slate Timeless Primer, and I like to just use that where I have the most like pores and where I can get a bit shiny. Then I will go in with the Beautyblender Bounce Foundation. With my color at the moment, I am at 2.4. Just make sure not to use too much, and I can just go in and add more if I need to. And I'm using a wet Beauty Blender, so this is completely wet. I just squeeze it under the sink 10 times or something, and then I just wring it out with a towel. And if my eyebrows look very dark, it's because I just darkened them, like this morning. So they will look a bit weird to begin with. Then I'm going in with concealer. This is Tarte Shape Tape in Light Sand. I want the discoloration on my eyelids to go away, so I just have it there. And I have some darkness here, so I just put it inside, and I like to have it out here as well. I also put it where I want my face to be a bit lighter. So that's in the center. And I also start light here, and I can just add more if I need. Since like the sponge is becoming more and more dry, I use some spray on it. This is MAC Fix Plus. But any type of like setting spray or primer spray will do. I also use water sometimes just to soften it up a bit. I so rarely do my makeup recently because we use masks here now, and I hate wearing masks over makeup. I really hate it. Then for my powder, I love the Hourglass Veil. If you have dry skin, I would highly recommend this because it has like this almost like sheen. I do actually feel like I look a bit like bright and washed out. Maybe I should just like turn it down a bit. That's better, right? Now that's done, I do want to start with my eyes. Yeah, so I will go back to the face when I'm done with the eyes. So I'm going to use the, as I said, the Jaclyn Hill Morphe Volume 2 palette. I'm just going to start with these shades. So I just dunk my brush into all three and always tap off. So I just tap it off here. You always want to tap off the excess because there is so much like loose powder on the brush. Because if you don't tap it off, most likely a lot of it will fall down on your cheeks. Yeah, I didn't really explain what I'm doing. I start immediately when you put the brush down. That will like transfer most of the pigment. So you want to put it down where you want most of the pigment. So I always start here, because that's where I want the most. That's where we want it to be the darkest. And I also want to emphasize the crease, like the fold. So I always like start here, and if you have a lot on your brush, you can just start wiggling it around here to get a lot of the pigment off. And then you want to go and windshield wiper motions in the crease like this. That's why I also want to tap off the excess, because you don't want a lot of pigment for this. So I just go in like circular here and windshield wiper in the crease. You start low like in the crease, and then you can like, when most of the pigment has left the brush, you can like start just going circular all over to buff it out. And this is basically what I do all the way. As I go darker with the color, I go smaller with the brush. So I have a big brush when I have a light color, and then when I go into the darker colors, I use a smaller brush and I just use smaller motions as well. And you also want to make sure that you buff it out here so you get kind of that cat eye effect with the shadow. And I'm still just using those 3 first shades, just building them up. And if I have done my face makeup as I have now, I will also start now with this brush to just slowly build up a bit of color on the lower lash line as well. And for my lower lash line, I usually just stick to the outer corner. I don't usually go in here, at least not with this brush. Then I'm going into this shade, Thick Skin it's called. And now I just mostly stay to the outer corner and just like pat it and go a bit circular here just to build it up out here. And also on the lower. So it's not really that hard, it takes a lot of time. And it's very important that you hold far out on the brush so that like the touch gets softer, and don't like press down. Don't press the brush against your eye, just like go soft with it. And the key is to just blend, blend, blend. So I think that's what most people do wrong, that they don't use enough time blending. And on a lot of tutorials also you won't see how much they're blending. So when I sit and do this, the blending, just like going around doing this is what takes the most time. Now I want to go in with a darker color, and I'm using a bit of a smaller brush. It's a bit smaller and it's also a bit more dense. I'm going into G Money, so it's a bit warmer, but it's also a bit darker. You know what? I'm mixing G Money, I can't say that with a straight face, G Money and Grateful. I'm mixing those. Stamp down here. So most of the pigment is laid down, and then just circular motions. Blend it up. And also blend it down. I also try now to like slowly, as the product has left the brush, I just slowly blend it outwards to get kind of a wing. And I do have a scar here that annoys me as hell. So I feel like it always messes up my makeup. So I like this eye better. Now that's darkened up a little bit. I think I'll go into the black one. But I'm using a tapered angled brush. Very important to tap it off now. I'm just going into the black, tapping off the excess and stamping it. Maybe I should have you a bit closer. Up close and personal. And I just start to stamp it on the edge here. And I just flick it up so it blends upwards, because I don't want like a strict line. I just want to have it blended from the lash line and up. I feel like doing my makeup like this would be easier if I could close one of my eyes and keep the other one open. I know a lot of people can that, but I can do it with this one, I think. I can see a tiny bit now, but I can't do it with this one. It's impossible. So doing like my liner and detail work up top would be easier if I could do that.
I'm not sure I understand.
Oh my god. I wasn't talking to you. Jesus. That freaked me out. So just go in with a little bit at a time. I just stamp it in there once, tap off the excess, and then I go in and like with very small motions, just flick it a bit up like this. And then I go in, grab some more, tap off the excess, and do the same. And I do that until I feel like I have the pigment that I want. And when I come to the end here, I want to just try to flick it out so I get a wing. Okay, I wasn't planning on it to be a straight liner. I was just planning on it to be dark out here. So we'll see where that ends. I will just go back in with the two previous colors, the G Money and the Grateful. That sounds like a band or something. Give it up for G Money and the Grateful. Okay, because I put too much black on this one, this eye looks like so much bigger than this eye. What I also do sometimes is that I take a paper towel. I always have paper towels near me when I do my makeup, and I just go into it with a brush like this, so everything is off the brush, and then I feel more comfortable going in and blending everything out. And I always struggle here because of that damn scar. I feel like it always looks like unblended. And I will also, like, regularly, if I feel like the makeup isn't like looking perfect, I will go back to the first shades, like the lightest shades, and I will just go in again and do some more blending. Blending, blending, blending. And you also want to take the black and kind of connect it to the lower lash line, so it just like connects a bit here. Now I just want to take a flat brush and I'm going into the first shade. It's just a matte light shade, and I'm just going to brighten up out here, in here. And you also just want to build up the brightness here. So you just want to continue doing this until it is as bright as you want. And if you want it even brighter, you could go in with some concealer first and then put the light color on top. And I also just put that light color in here as well to brighten up the inner corner. Oh no, I think I accidentally touched the yellow shade. Yes, I did. We don't want that. It's not Easter yet. So don't be afraid to go overboard with the lightness here. Just slap it on there. A bunch of brightness. And I also like to go here as well. Just to brighten up that part as well. And then I go back in with the blending. Why do I keep sitting on the floor doing this? My ass hurts. It was ice cold coffee, but it's kind of good. You can see it better now. I didn't intentionally make a liner. I was planning on just having it like blown out, smoky, but it started to shape into a liner and I'm not mad about it. And I do have some patches here. If you see that, it's winter and my skin gets very dry. I think I'm going to just start with my brows. After darkening them this morning, they kind of look black, and they will look black for just a couple of days until they lighten up a bit, so it doesn't look that good. So just apologize my black brows for today. By the way, I used the Anastasia Brow Wiz in medium brown, and I basically just darken up the edges and just make the shape I want. More like the shape they want, because my brows have a mind of their own. Okay, you know what? They're fine. They're fine. And I just use some Anastasia clear brow gel to just set them in place. Use a highlighter, and any highlighter will work. I'm going to use Benefit Cookie, and I'm just going to pop that in here. And if you see some patchiness here, again, I have really dry skin right now. I'm actually going to put on some false lashes, but I'm going to go for my more safe option, and I'm cutting them and only placing them on the outer corner. So I will just put on some mascara my favorite mascara, the Maybelline Sky High. And you totally don't need false lashes. I feel like this is good as it is, especially with that mascara, because it's awesome. But I feel like this is good as it is. But I just wanted to, I haven't put on false lashes in a minute, and I want to be reminded how it was. So I'm using Kiss Blowout Lash Next Gen Wispy. So I do want to cut off the end. I want the inner part here because that's the shortest part. And I'm using this. It's a Tarte lash tweezer. I really like these. Just put a layer on there. Make sure to get glue on the outer and inner part because that's always where they lift up first. I have never been any good at putting on lashes, I will admit. I'm really struggling with that. What I did find though is that I usually try to put them on too early, so the glue hasn't really become tacky yet, and if you do that, they will start to like slide and they will be very hard to stick. So if you make sure that the glue is starting to change color and you can see that it's starting to dry, then you want to put it on because then it will stick better and it won't like slide around. I'm not gonna pretend I'm not scared because I am death scared. You know, right as I went to apply the lash, my memory card became full. So that's awesome. So yeah, what I did, I just put it on and adjusted it where I wanted it, so just to as close to the lash line as possible. And now when it has dried, I will just stamp and press my lashes together with the false ones, so it look a bit more natural if they're pressed together like that. Okay, good. Now you can see that the eyes get really like flared out because it's the heaviest on the outer corners. I need to finish up the face, I think. I'm going to go into my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This smells incredible and it smells like summer. Oh, it smells like coconuts. For blush, I want to use this. I think that will match. This is Flower Beauty in Peach Primrose. Kind of a peachy color. For highlight, I am using the same as I used on my inner corner, Benefit Cookie. You're basically using it on the points you want to like stand out or like lift. So here, I'm using a tiny bit on the bridge of my nose. And I always use it on my Cupid's bow. I also use my fingers for that. I like a lot here. Feel free to not use as much as me. I really just like it when the Cupid's bow looks sweaty. I don't know why. And just a tiny bit, and I don't like too much, just a tiny bit right underneath the brow. Because if you put it there, you will kind of lift the brow a bit. But I don't like it to be too much, so just a tiny bit, just so it looks like you're a bit sweaty right there. I don't like too much mascara on the lower lash line, but I just want to have a tiny bit on the outer corner here. That's it. Lips, the same lip liner as last time. I love this LA Girl Ultimate Intense Stay Auto Liner in Nonstop Nude. For my lip, yes, I'm using this one. What's this? NudeSTIX in Belle. That was a bit darker than expected. I am topping it off with Makeup Forever 101. There you go. I'm done. I'm done. I felt like for 1 second there, I thought we were never going to make it. So this is the final look. Okay, that's it guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something. Even though you might not want to do this exact look, I hope maybe you learned some tips and tricks to get maybe a bit more comfortable doing your makeup, and maybe some tricks you can apply for your Christmas or New Year's Eve look. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.